What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Sports Talk on Tap podcast. We're here. You can find daily videos Monday through Friday covering all the four major sports leagues, whether that be NHL, NBA, MLB, or NFL. And in today's episode, if you haven't already, make sure to check out our episode about the Lions. What can they do to get back to the NC Championship game and possibly go further and maybe even win a Super Bowl. But in today's episode, we're going to talk about an interesting team, the New England Patriots. And kind of the big question, Nick is obviously a Patriots fan. We're both from New England, so I get insight to the Patriots as well. But kind of, what should the plan be for New England? Who should get the starting nod? Should Brissett play most of the year, if not all the year? Should they ease May in? And I think we're going to have two very different opinions on this, Nick. Maybe not, but I'm curious. Obviously, as a Patriots fan, what do you think should happen? And, what do you want to happen, basically?
I see on Patriots social media, all the time, Drake Maye needs to be in week 1. Drake Maye, we want to see Drake Maye. I completely disagree. I don't think he should play at all this year, regardless of the situation. I think Jacoby Brissett needs to play all year. The team still is not a winning team. They don't have the talent. It's probably going to be a lot of growing pains this year, just with all these new coaches, new system, younger players. And you don't want Drake Maye to be in the middle of that fire. You don't want him getting all the blame like Mac Jones was. Even I know Mac Jones had a good rookie year, but people forget, they had pretty weak schedule. A really good defense, because it's not like he was, throwing 35 touchdowns and 5,000 yards. It was largely his defense that was, helping him out. And they were playing injured teams, all this. We saw it was obviously a fluke when we saw them lose by 35 in Buffalo. But I think you need to excuse me, I got allergies. You got to let May just watch and learn slowly. Brissett's a guy he's going to work good with him. He knows his role. He knows he has to teach Drake Maye, the ropes, how to handle being an NFL player. Jacoby Brissett learned from Tom Brady. So, I don't know if there's a better guy to learn from. So now he can finally mentor a younger guy coming in. I think it's good for May that he's also working with a new head coach. I feel like these, we saw it last year with CJ Stroud and DeMeco Ryans. I'm not saying this is the same thing, but just I feel like when a quarterback and a coach are both younger guys coming into the same situation together, I think it kind of helps them bond and grow together. So I think that's exciting. And I mean, it was almost like that for Brady and Belichick. I know Belichick was here for a year or two prior to Brady, but that's, that was, obviously younger Belichick came up with Brady the whole time. So my overall opinion is I don't think Drake Maye should play this year. Don't throw him into the fire so he can take all the blame, get mentally beat up, start worrying about the wrong things. Just let him learn. Almost do what the Packers do. And I know it's not Aaron Rodgers ahead of him like it was for Jordan Love, but just let him learn from the sideline. Let him get mentally stronger rather than forcing him to take, 50 sacks in the year, throw 15, 20 picks, be down on himself. Because we saw how beat up Mac Jones was by the time he was out of here. He seemed depressed, and I wouldn't blame him if he was, because everybody literally was calling for his head, including myself. I was pissed at him because of how bad he was playing. And I mean, it sort of was his fault, just because some of the plays he was making was, I can't believe, but other things was just not his fault. He was surrounded with nothing. And I know they've slightly upgraded this year, but it's nothing where Drake Maye can just go in there and easily have 30 to 40 touchdowns and 4,500 yards passing. It would still be a rough year. So I'll let you, voice your own unbiased opinion on it, because I know I'm a Patriots fan, so my opinion could be different. But overall, I do not think Drake Maye should play this year. I think it should be Jacoby Brissett let Jacoby. Like if they win with Jacoby, then that's great. Like, if they win 8 or 9 games with Jacoby and that talent, those receivers and those defensive guys grow, that's awesome. But don't force Drake May.
Well, like, I'm kind of disappointed because I thought we were going to have very different opinions, but I thought you hit it right on the head with where I was going to go with it, in the sense that, yeah, Drake May, I don't want to see him play this year just for his own sake and for the Patriots' sake. There's still too many question marks for me to think that this is a disaster he's going into right now. If you were to start week 1 or come in middle of the year, say Brissett's struggling and we need a spark, boy, I'd be really concerned for him, because we started just as soon as last year. Bryce Young got thrown into the fire, wasn't ready, struggled immensely. And the confidence that, hopefully he still has it. He's got a whole new system now that I think will help boost his confidence, but we'll have to see on that. But, Drake May still has all the confidence in the world, hasn't taken one professional snap yet. But there's still too many question marks for this team that I need to figure out who's their wide receiver one. You've mentioned, and I've seen on Patriots Twitter, this Polk guy being something. The highlight reels in college are dope. Some training camp OTA catches might be nice, but I got to see it in person. Can he be a wide receiver one or a good wide receiver in this league? Because as of right now, Kendrick Bourne's the wide receiver one, which is something I don't want a rookie quarterback to have to go with. The offensive line still has a lot of holes, in my opinion, that I don't really like. Hunter Henry's a solid tight end. That may be the best part about it. But, even then, they're going through a coaching change right now with Drake Maye. They didn't hire an offensive-minded head coach, which is, I'm fine with. We've seen defensive coaches succeed with star quarterbacks like, Sean McDermott. But most of these coaches, like Andy Reid, teams that drafted, a QB, J.J. McCarthy teaming up with Kevin O'Connell. But it's going to be interesting to see. A lot of these, superstar quarterbacks typically have a great offensive-minded head coach, but it'll be interesting because we're seeing some new defensive teams try and take on the challenge of these rookie quarterbacks. So do they have the right offensive system in place is something that I'll be looking for. But as of right now, we know what Brissett is. Brissett can be a great game manager. He obviously doesn't have the best supporting cast right now, but, this is what you sign up for. He signed up for this challenge. He's going to do what he can with the Patriots and make that work. But this should just be a year of Drake Maye learning behind on the bench with that nice earpiece in, just watching. Because as of right now, it would just be getting thrown into the fire just because I don't like their weapons. I have no idea what their offensive system is going to look like, how the O-line is going to hold up. And I'd rather wait until next year. Maybe you see Polks establish himself as a good wide receiver. And either way, you have a lot of cap space to go out and spend, because they didn't really spend a lot on free agency, like offensive, weapons this time around.
Yeah, they tried to, but Calvin Ridley obviously went somewhere else. But
yeah.
I think that was the only real attempt at spending big.
But if you're serious about Drake Maye being your franchise, you need to give him some pieces, because we know at this point, Kendrick Bourne's Kendrick Bourne. He's not going to, be a 12. He's not going to have like a Nico Collins breakout year. Like, we know what Kendrick Bourne is, and that's fine. He's a good wide receiver 3. So can one of these rookies step up and be a good wide receiver 2, or just, get some offensive line help next year to help the infrastructure around Drake Maye? Because, it's a whole situation where, for me, I look at it as a year just for Drake Maye to learn, sit. If he wants to come in when they're up or down 30 and just get a couple passes and dink and dunk, I guess that's cool, because, every defense just running prevent at that point, just kind of get some NFL snaps. But he'll get that in training camp, and I'm really excited to see how he looks in training camp, because the Patriots defense, like we said, is not that bad. It's probably middle of the pack across the league. So it's going to be, good to see him going up against a real NFL defense, what he looks like there. But, overall, we are kind of on the same page. Both want him to sit, just because Drake Maye is already more of like a project pick than, Jaden Daniels, because people forget entering the year was Caleb Williams, then Drake Maye right behind. Jaden Daniels leapfrog maybe because he won best quarterback or whatever it is, the Heisman. But Jay Daniels is almost kind of, pro ready. Drake Maye has gotten comparisons to like a Josh Allen type, where it took Josh Allen a couple of years to get ready, kind of big arm, a little bit inaccurate. Will that be the case with Drake Maye? He needs time. So, a free year just to learn would not hurt anyone. And I'd also feel a lot more confident, for me to see Drake Maye, if he were to play this year, to be on a team that won't even be like a playoff team necessarily, but like a team like the Vikings where you got a lot of weapons to go to, Jefferson, Addison, Hawkinson, and just you got the pieces around you. It's kind of like a furnished apartment, like Colin Cowherd said after the draft process. Like the Patriots are still fixing their pieces around them. They're just getting a new coach, and right now they're still trying to figure out what works and what doesn't in year one of Jerod Mayo. Whereas I think there's probably more pressure on like a McCarthy if he were to come in, midway through the year to succeed because of all the names and weapons around the team. So it's going to be a lot more ease in for Drake Maye, and just I would not want to see him get thrown into the fire when, boy, I mean, just, the New England market's tough, and Boston expects championships year in and year out. And the Patriots' success for the last 20 years has only what made them earn that angst even more. So, it's a lot of pressure, and I don't want to see him have a bad rookie season like Bryce Young, and them already want to trade away Drake Maye or, draft a new QB like Shador, and it's just like this whole recycling process.
I think this is going to be the first time for a lot of Patriots fans. I'm not going to say including myself, and I'm not trying to, toot my own horn, but this is going to be the first time where going into a season, like Patriots fans are probably going to expect a lot of losing. Like 2 years ago, the year after Mac Jones' rookie year, his second year, people were expecting like, okay, we have a playoff quarterback again. Like we're going to get back. He had, I know he got injured for a few games. We like just missed out on the playoffs. I'm pretty sure we were like 8-9 or something.
Yeah,
So
they lost like the last week to Buffalo.
Yep. And so that, people were still like, oh, we were right there. Maybe if Mac didn't get hurt, next year, whatever. And then last year we were a dumpster fire. So this is the first year where people should expect losing. Like if you can win 5, 6, even 7 games with Jacoby Brissett, that's awesome. But I think Drake Maye does have a really high ceiling, but right now he's not really close to that ceiling. Like I think he has a ton of talent. I've seen highlight tapes of him at UNC, and he can blank all sorts of crazy throws on the money. But that's college. Like this is NFL is a whole different thing. So you just got to let him slowly learn because it's a process. Josh Allen, coming out of college, Josh Allen could make every throw. He had a bazooka for an arm, but when they threw him in, he looked awful. And it took like 2 or 3 years, and it might take the Patriots picking up, a star caliber wide receiver like it did for Josh Allen when they got Stephon Diggs. So I'm glad we're on the same page though. Like it really annoys me seeing all the dumb, and there's a lot of dumb New England sports fans that are just instantly saying, throw him in. We want to win now. He's got talent. That automatically means we're going to win 10 games. And no, it doesn't. Like it's a process. And he's young too. Like Jaden Daniels is 24. I believe Drake Maye was like one of the youngest quarterbacks in the draft. He's going to be 22 by the time the season starts. He's 21 right now. But you have time with him. It's not like you need to throw him in because he's 24, 25 years old and, you lost 3 years of development. Like you have so much time to develop him. So I'm glad we have, same opinion though overall. Like we're not begging for him to play just because we want to see something.
Yeah, no, I agree. And it's one of those situations where, for example, Caleb Williams is obviously going into a really good situation with the Bears, but there's a lot of pressure there. Same with Jaden Daniels, where he doesn't have a great situation, but there's a lot of pressure on him to succeed. So I'm not loving those situations, and it's just a matter of can they live up to the hype. I think
those guys are the expected starters too. Like, I also like how there's, now that you're talking about it, you bring up a great point that there's like no pressure on Drake Maye right now. Like he has time to just relax and lay back and kind of just learn the ropes.
Learn
Those
the
guys are like,
system.
yeah, you've got a month and a half to get ready to start in the NFL.
Yeah, in a month, Jaden Daniels is going to be taking first team reps. And Caleb Williams is in a great situation, I think. Getting all those weapons, the Bears did a good job, but the Bears also have a defensive-minded head coach, Matt Eberflus, that is rumored to get fired. And I thought should have been, just because he hasn't been that good of a head coach. So there's a lot of hype around him.
Saved him.
Yeah, there's a lot of hype around him, but I don't really know if we'll see if he's good. Because Keenan Allen will want the ball, DJ Moore will. There's going to be a lot of mouths to feed, and can Caleb Williams deliver? Because they're expecting one of the best rookie seasons in a while, just because of all the hype he got. And he's obviously one of the most controversial characters, so there's a lot of pressure on him in the social media landscape of things. So, for quarterbacks like Drake Maye, JJ McCarthy, kind of just sit back right now, enjoy the playbook, and learn and take advantage of that in the training camp reps while you can. But overall, we kind of both agreed, or we both agreed heavily on that, where I thought we may have had some disagreements, because I know a lot of Patriots fans want to see him play, at least some, but I'm in no rush to see him play, even as a non-biased regular fan, because I want him to do well. But boy, I mean, if I saw like Drake Maye coming out week 1, I would be like, there goes a QB that's ruined.
The only problem that could arise from this season, I think, is say Jacoby Brissett goes out there and has like a career year. Then I'm not sure if Patriots fans are like, oh, you got to re-sign him. But
Trust me, I've heard that same thing with Sam Darnold. They're like, what if you as a Baker Mayfield type year and leads them to the playoffs? Don't matter. Go get paid somewhere else, because
I mean, it's a get paid year for a lot of those guys. Sam Darnold.
If Brissett balls out, great. Go get paid. To maybe the Giants.
Denver will throw you a bag. Right?
Yeah, Denver or the Giants. If they move off of Danny Dimes, Jacoby might make $20 million there if he balls out, and that's just a win-win trade, because that means the Patriots played better than most people thought, and Jacoby gets starting level money. So that's great for whoever. It's a win-win. Same thing with the Sam Darnold, because I've heard that before. They're like, what if Sam Darnold surprisingly still playoffs? Well, we picked JJ top 10. He's the franchise. The reason why we moved off of Kirk Cousins was to get rid of a big contract. And if Sam Darnold balls out the way the rookie quarterback market is, we saw Baker Mayfield got paid after one really solid year. Sam Darnold would probably be making that type of money as well, or Brissett. So, going to be very interesting, though, yeah. With Patriots and Vikings can have the same quarterback situation dilemma. Not dilemma, just same quarterback situation room, I guess. With that being said, obviously going to be an interesting season in New England. Finally, maybe your first anticipated losing season, but also a lot of interesting pieces, which will be very exciting to see. But with that being said, make sure to like and subscribe. Training camp is only about a month away. We're going to be here with all different kinds of content regarding each NFL team. It's an exciting time, because right now we're just kind of talking, and then we obviously will have training camp, and then pretty soon after that, preseason and regular season right after that. But it's an exciting time. Last like a month before things really begin to ramp up. But with that being said, we'll be here to cover all of it. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content, and we'll catch you next one. Peace out.